This episode is brought to you by Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th, only on Hulu and Disney+. Rated TV MALV. Viewer discretion advised. Maya Lopez has betrayed her mentor, the notorious Kingpin. Now on the run, she returns to her hometown to prepare for the biggest fight of her life. Don't miss Marvel Studios' hardest-hitting series yet. An epic 5-episode event. Marvel Studios Echo. All episodes streaming January 9th, only on Hulu and Disney+.
Listen to the 48 Hours podcast for shocking murder cases and compelling real-life dramas from one of television's most watched true crime shows. Go behind the scenes of each episode with award-winning CBS News correspondents and producers in Postmortem, a weekly deep dive. Listen to 48 Hours wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this is your Bloody Happy Hour. Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
Ooh, she's popping a top.
Oh.
So we have another Turn Up Tuesday quickie episode for you guys. And you know what, Erica?
Okay, Rachel.
You know
no,
what,
this is how this is going to go today.
This is a little bit of an off day. We had a fun party last night. Recovering. I've had my 4 Sigmatic coffee.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Are you alert and aware and revived?
Listen, focus, clarity, and the energy part's coming.
It's
a little delayed.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Yeah, I feel like it's getting there.
Yes.
It's definitely getting there.
And I'm not stressed out at all. So,
wow.
Yeah.
It does what it's supposed to do.
It does. It does. So go get you some 4 Sigmatic coffee. It's basically fortified coffee with mushrooms.
Yep. And it's what is there? 4 Sigmatic is a sciencey way of saying really good for you.
Really good for you. And if you don't like coffee, guys, you can have a protein powder. You can have some cacao.
Cacao.
I love that word. Or you can just get any type of powder or blend that you can put in your tea or your smoothies or your soups. So where do they go, Caroline?
They have to go to go.4sigmatic.com/happy hour.
Ooh, if you put in happy hour, you get 30% off of the order. So go try it.
What a steal.
Yes. And then, Caroline, what do you have for us?
Well, I have, okay. After going over the probable cause affidavit, I basically listened to it like 14 more times.
Okay.
And
if you haven't heard that yet, y'all, and if you're following the Idaho murders, you need to go back and listen to Caroline's at least last 2 episodes where she's kind of summed up everything that's going on with Moscow.
yeah. So right now we're just in the waiting period. We're just waiting for the pretrial hearing, which is coming up this week. And so what they do there is basically like a scrimmage of the trial.
Oh, is it a scrimmage?
It's like a scrimmage. So they'll have witnesses that'll be called. I don't know I don't know how it works as far as witnesses, because if the roommate has to go up there, I don't know, and give her case, or if it's just officers or what. But there's been a lot of discussion about DM, which is Dylan.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's bad.
So there's, I have I don't think everybody's wondering why it took her so long to call 911.
Yeah.
But for a lot of places that I've heard, they said that you can just freeze so much that you can't speak or you can't move. Some people can't even speak or move for 2 days.
Yeah.
And I know it's just I don't know, if I don't go and comment on things on social media, like, and leave my opinion out there. but if you do, just be nice to her. Because, I mean, you can only imagine that she's like already, they're both of them. They're blaming themselves. They're questioning everything that they've done. They're going to live with this for the rest of their lives.
Has it come out that, I know at one point maybe a friend came out and said that she might have been on drugs, like high on Molly during that time?
I heard that. I don't know. But then I also did hear that her and the other roommate saw some of the scene, ran outside. One of them fainted. And then the other one, that like they had called 911, but they couldn't get the words out. Like 911 couldn't make out what they were saying. Oh. And so then their friend had come over, and that's why the friend was like, we have an unconscious person, because they were talking about the roommate who fainted. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
So that could be it. It hasn't been released yet. Maybe that'll come out on Thursday also with the pretrial hearing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
But the Papa
Roger
account.
Papa Roger. So they're saying that was him.
I saw that.
So there's this Facebook group called University of Idaho Discussion Case, and I mean, I don't know how many, 18,000 or something, 20,000, 40,000 people are in this group. And there was this guy who was this screen name who was constantly commenting and asking questions and saying things that, like, talked about the knife sheath and how it was left at the scene, like stuff that you can't. You wouldn't know. It from what I saw is that it was saying things that only the killer or law enforcement would have known.
And he did a TikTok video too, right?
We don't know. Okay. And there was also this podcast that somebody had called into, and they also thought that it was him. Shoot. So there's a bunch of those type of things going around, but I'm pretty sure they've confirmed that this Papa Roger, which
I wonder if he wanted to get
who
caught.
else's last name is Roger? Who was an incel?
Oh, Elliot.
I just kind of thought that would be interesting.
Yeah.
So Elliot Roger was the one you did on your live show.
Yeah, he was an incel that
involuntarily celibate, right? Yeah, that's what incel.
And basically they hate Stacy's and Chad's.
Yes,
those are people who get laid and can have girlfriends and have boyfriends.
And like Chad's are usually frat guys, and
and Stacy's are usually beautiful frat girls or popular girls, and they would be every bit of Chad and Stacy's. So that has come up a lot in a lot of the conversations. Is was he involved like in any type of incel group? Yeah.
So I also listened to she does the podcast Killer Psyche. I don't know. She talked about it. She's like a criminology or a forensic psychologist, the same thing that Catherine Ramsland is.
Okay.
Or she's a former FBI something.
Yeah.
She talked about what she thought the motivation could have been behind Brian doing it, and she said just like anger or out of retaliation for a situation due to him hating women, revenge fantasy that he decided to live out. Like he could have fantasized about this for so long and then just was like, I just need to know what it was like.
Yeah, yeah. And then we did see that FBI did confirm that they told the state troopers to pull them over those 2 times. I think when we did the affidavit, we weren't sure. Like we saw that FBI did tell them, and then we saw that maybe that might not have been true. But I think I saw on ABC News, like just an article that they did actually.
I would think so, because I don't think you just pull somebody over and then you just let both of them. You let them go both times, and then you're pulling them over for following too close for tailgating.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't even go run his stuff. They didn't even go run his card and registration. Like they didn't. Yeah. That we saw. The lady is Candace DeLong. She's a former FBI criminal profiler. Okay. That's who I was. She was on an interview with somebody, and she's the one that does that Killer Psyche podcast. So, anyways, just a little bit of kind of stuff we've
found out
over the time. Next, we have this Utah family. Did you hear about this family of?
Yeah, I've seen it everywhere.
So there's not much about it that's been released. It's just the bones of it. On January 5th in Enoch City. It's a city in southern Utah, about halfway between Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. 8 members of a family were found dead in an apparent murder-suicide. Michael Haight, 42-year-old Michael Haight, killed his wife, mother-in-law, and 5 children, and then killed himself. So they had a 17-year-old girl, a 12-year-old girl, a 7-year-old girl, a 7-year-old boy. Twins? Gosh. A 4-year-old boy. His wife was 40-year-old Tasha? And then her mom, who was 78 years old. On Wednesday, police had called. So this happened on Thursday. Wednesday, police came to answer a wellness check at their house. That's how they found it. And I guess the mom had missed an appointment.
Okay.
So then the mom got a hold of that, whoever her doctor was.
Yeah.
Calling, looking for him, and then she called the police to go do a wellness check at their house because she just missed this appointment, and she never misses appointment. And
wow.
There had been. I watched the press conference, and they said there had been times in the past where they had calls to the house about maybe domestic stuff.
Yeah.
But they didn't go into details. So many people in the community are just shocked. It's like 8,000 people in this community, and they said that they went to church with them because this is like Mormon.
Oh yeah.
Went to school with them. Everybody knew them. And they said that after Tasha, I guess Tasha's how you say it, wasn't found, that's when they filed a missing persons report, and then they did the welfare check. What did he say? The mayor was like, "Oh, we're a very close community, and the neighbors are good people. Like, we are just completely shocked. They just had no idea." The 5, they were all shot. Everybody was shot.
So they know the daddy killed everybody and then killed himself, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's at least what they're reporting. They couldn't say how long that the family had been dead. But they said that the mother-in-law and the mom had been at a church function the night before. So they couldn't have been dead for that long.
Yeah, yeah.
The motive?
Money.
Divorce. That's at least all we know.
Yeah.
Tasha had been to her divorce attorney, and she filed for divorce in December. Wow. And she had met with her divorce attorney twice, and the most recent visit was on Tuesday, was the Tuesday of this week, of that week of the murder. Mm-hmm. And they had been married since 2003, and that's all we have.
Wow.
And now a word from our sponsors. What are we doing here, Rusty? What are we going to do?
Yep, we're doing the King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast.
King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast. Yeah, so we're going to go through one episode at a time. Come along for the ride with us.
Come check it out.
And give me a good like Dale Gribble quote to go out on. Wingo.
Yeah, Wingo.
Wingo. All right. Well, join us for the King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast.
Deep in the heart of Texas, that drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Deep in the heart of Texas, the TV blares but no one cares. Deep in the heart of Texas, here we go. and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Mike.
And we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros, Foes, Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
You know, they say of the most dangerous times for women is when they're pregnant. Married woman is when they're pregnant, and when they're going through a breakup, separation, or divorce from the person that they're married to.
That is crazy. Wow.
So crazy.
I have one last little update. I know we briefly did a little bit of the story, but I don't think we put it out. The twins that went missing, those twin boys, those twin baby boys.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to this is a pretty funny story.
Okay.
I mean, it's not funny, but it's interesting. It ends well. Two little baby boys, Kyer and Kaysen, they were on December 22nd, a woman named Nala Jackson was arrested by the police, Indianapolis police, for stealing a Honda Accord, which had these two 5-month-old babies in the car. The mom, she had parked outside of a pizza place, Donato's Pizza Place in Columbus, Ohio, left the kids in the car. She went in. She was working for DoorDash.
Okay.
We got a lot of DoorDash in all these.
Yeah.
Okay. She was working for DoorDash. She goes in, picks up the food, and on her way out, she's like, "Where's my car? My car's gone. Car's gone." She was in there, and they I guess she went back inside. They did an Amber Alert, and then pretty soon after they issued that Amber Alert, one of the babies, Kyer, was found abandoned but safe. He was at the airport.
Now, was he
in a car? He was in a car, and somebody had heard him crying as they walked by the car.
But he wasn't in the stolen car?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
So the other one was still missing. Well, then you have these two Indiana moms. They're cousins.
Okay.
Delmar and Mecca Curry. Cheyenne Delmar and Mecca Curry. I'll go by their last names. So they said they played all this out on their TikTok. So Delmar, one of these ladies, met Jackson, the kidnapper, met her at a gas station because she was outside the gas station selling toys. And so she bought a toy from this lady at the gas station.
Okay.
And so she didn't know who this person was, and the kidnapper lady asked her for a ride somewhere. So then this Delmar was like, okay, and took her for a ride and got her phone number while she was giving her a ride. Well, eventually she ends up seeing this lady's mugshot on Facebook, and she's like, oh my gosh, I just drove that lady somewhere and I picked her up and I bought a toy from her. And she's the one who's on the TV who kidnapped these little boys. And so she calls her cousin, and then they are like, we are DTF. We are DTF. And she's like, calls the lady back, and she's telling her she wants more toys. And so they get the lady in the car, which I'm like, now this is, I don't know, y'all are really down to DTF. And so they call her, they pretend that, want more toys. They meet up with her, drive her around. While they're driving her around, they also are calling the police. And the one girl's on the phone pretending that she's talking to like her husband. While I guess the other one's distracting her. And they put a lot of this on live stream. I think it's taken down now, but then they also have a bunch of TikToks out there, like 16 different TikToks.
Wow. I didn't know all of this.
I didn't either. That's what I want to talk about because it was like, it's funny. So they ended up, police met up with the woman at another part of town. They basically pulled the car over, and that's how they arrested the lady, the kidnapper.
They were slick.
Dude. So Delmar and Curry, the TikTokers, decided that, they were going to search for themselves, and they tracked it down, and they met parking lot in Papa John's, and then inside of the car was, I guess the car.
Pizza place.
Yeah.
It started at a pizza place. It ended at a pizza place.
Yes. Inside the car was Kaysen wearing the same clothes that he had on 3 days earlier. The only thing that was wrong with the baby was that his diaper needed to be changed.
Okay, so if she's in the car with them, how did they end up at Papa John's with the car?
It just says they decided to search for the infant themselves, eventually tracking down the missing Honda in a parking lot near Papa John's.
Hell yes. I love it.
Yep. So he was found in good health.
BTF.
She was charged. The kidnapper was charged with 2 counts of felony kidnapping. She was also charged with battery of bodily waste. I've never heard of that. Apparently, the investigation is still ongoing, and there's details that they can't release yet or something. But I sure hope that these people got a reward.
Why give up one and not the other? And
what did you even do with them? She just kidnapped him to let him sit in the car? To leave him in a car?
But that he would have been starving. Like, he wouldn't have died, but he would have been starving and dehydrated. They just said he needed a diaper change. So she was obviously caring for him. She didn't change his clothes, but she had to have been giving him some formula.
I mean, I just don't. Could you imagine if it was like 100 degrees outside? That baby would have been gone.
Oh, man.
So there you have it.
Can you imagine still in a car and then you look back and there's like some twins back there?
You think she didn't know the twins were there?
I don't know. That's what I don't know. I don't know if the motive was the car or if the motive was the kid.
I didn't even think about that. I'm special.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And then the case that I did, I guess a couple weeks ago, it was the NFL player Antonio.
Out of Houston?
Out of Houston. They just did a 2020 on that story Friday.
Yeah.
It was so good. Okay. And so
Are there any new developments from what we did?
Well, it's a lot more detail.
Oh.
And I think we both left here thinking Son is guilty. And I'm not saying Son's not guilty, but what I can see is how there's been 2 hung juries. Like the lawyers have done a great job with reasonable doubts. But this kid is now, like, it was 16 when it's happened. That happened in 2016. So how many years? It's been 6 years,
8.
7 years, 8 years? I don't know math.
Your math ain't mathin'.
He has had a kid since then. He was with his high school girlfriend that he had then, had stuck by his side. He is out, like, on bond and, like, have an ankle monitor, and he's living with his grandma. His family is 100% behind him. But the other brother that seemed sketchy, that was having mental issues, like, he is in and out of, like, mental hospitals. So
I got to go watch it again. I got to go watch it.
Go watch it because it's just crazy. It's crazy. And then they're about to go to trial again, I think next month for the 3rd time. Millions of dollars have been spent on this case. And the lawyers are asking for them to just drop it. But the DA in Houston, like, does not want to. She wants justice for these people. So go check that out. It's a good story. Crazy.
Wow. Okay.
That is it. That was some good news. We will see y'all Thursday for some little bit of shoe fetish serial killers.
Ooh.
Yes.
I think I've heard of that guy. Sky.
Can you guys right now subscribe if you haven't already? Share our episodes with some friends and go in and put us a review because we love reading those. What else should they do, Caroline?
If you're ever listening and you like want to show us on Instagram or like post it to your story, if you post anything in your story, you can share it to our story and then we'll share it on our story. I don't know.
Okay.
Rate, review, follow us on all the places,
all the platforms.
Send us emails if you have any story ideas or tips on cases, or maybe, I don't know.
Even if you're in prison, you can send us an email because we actually
did get one. Thanks for sending that, by the way. Mr.
I forgot his name,
Thompson?
but he was a hitman.
Yeah.
So we might do a story and have him on because, he obviously likes publicity.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
So, y'all, don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.